Hey everybody, welcome to the Indoor Food Growing Training Program. This is week one, and we're going to be talking about starting seeds indoors, transplanting seedlings if you have them already. If you haven't done so yet, go ahead and scan this QR code right here. This goes to our GTG AI assistant or Green Thumb guide. It allows you to design an indoor food growing space and gives you the ability to really grow up to 75 pounds of greens, herbs, and fruiting plants per year in about the same size space as a coffee table. So get your guide, get your setup instructions, your shopping list, and then when you're done there, go ahead and scan right here. Join our free indoor food growing training program. It's run remotely. Get great tips, tricks, guides, lots of help across the whole year. So you grow 4 full crop cycles indoors in about 4 square feet of space. Again, you're going to produce around 75 pounds of greens, herbs, and fruiting plants. So it's really a vertical farm in your home. It can be soil, it can be hydroponics, it can be a combination. LED grow lights are, of course, powering all of these things. So I really want you to take advantage of this. Thanks for jumping in here with us on week one. Last week, we talked a little bit about setting up, getting going, all of your materials. If you haven't done so already, you can get your materials at indoorgardenmarket.com. And we'll have some helpful QR codes through this process as well. So let's jump straight in here and go on to the next part of our live stream. So when you're just starting off, obviously, we're going to plant some seeds. So a couple different ways to do that. If you're planting inside of soil, you're going to want to use either a compost or a seed starting mix. You can do this in the pot itself. For example, if you have, say, one of these kinds of growing cloth bags, like so, these are really easy to grow. This is a 5 gallon. They come in 3 gallon sizes. If you're going to grow in greens and herbs, they're happy in a 3 gallon size bag. And these cloth bags actually come with easy to use handles. Fill that with your soil, and then I would definitely recommend putting some kind of a plastic underneath, like so. So you're gonna put your lights over the top of this, and you're gonna grow in like that. So something important to keep in mind when you are doing your growing, you want to have your seeds twice as deep as the size of the seed. That's the general rule for growing your seeds. So if you haven't done so already, we have an easy QR code to get seeds that are from Seeds Now. So all you have to do is scan that. Find any kind of herb or green with an LED grow light, approximately 30 to 50 watts, are going to be a good option to start with you. When you have your grow lights over your plants, you want to keep them really close to the top of the soil, like initially maybe about this far, 4 to 6 inches. As the plant's growing, you're going to back it up and you're going to lift it up above your plants. So plant your small herbs in many of your greens. You're just going to sprinkle those at the top of the soil and then put a little bit of extra soil on top of them, like just basically a dusting. Water it, and you're good. Wait 7 to 10 days. Watch for your sprouts to come up. If you don't see those sprouts, add a couple more seeds into that space. You're growing 12 months out of the year. The one thing you don't want to do is waste any time, because you can start anytime. You can start in January, start in July. It really doesn't matter too much. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and grab some seeds there on the left side. And so soil growing, pretty simple. You can grow directly into the container, or you can grow in the side. And we're going to show you a couple different options for growing on the side. Two really easy ways of doing that are using either rock wool, or you can also use coconut coir. So coconut coir looks something like this. It is actually made of the husks of coconut. It's kind of compressed into a little space. So you put your seeds into here, and then you just drop them down into your hydroponic system, which we'll show you in just a second. So put your seeds into there, drop them down into a hydroponic system. For example, here I've got Let Pot, which is one of the systems that we use pretty intensively. This is one of the trays. It holds 21 greens and herbs in the space. So you put your seed in there, you pop it down into this little basket, and then you put it into your system. Turn it on, get your nutrients flowing, get your light on, and your timer. And that's pretty much it. Really easy with these. Something similar with your Rockwell, also very similar. I've got a couple of tomato plants here to demonstrate for those. Rockwell looks very similar to the to the other one. These are actually cucumbers and tomatoes that are growing in here. One thing to note that when you are growing, when you start to see these 2 to 3 leaves forming, you want to do a nutrient bath for these seedlings. So you're going to take the nutrients that you use in your hydroponic system, water it down 50%, and then pour it into here, fill it up, and then pour out the nutrients right away. So you get water and oxygen that will actually go down. This will strengthen these plants, get them really into a good shape. And so each of these squares can be broken off and then dropped into one of your systems. They can actually be dropped into one of these right here, and then they can be grown after that. So something to keep in mind as you're growing this, it's really easy to start these in these little containers on the side and get them going, and then transplant over into your hydroponic system. So that's super easy. If you haven't done so already, you can get plugs and trays at this QR code over on the left side. The Rockwell cubes that you see there are actually going to grow about 200 or 240 seedlings, because you can plant multiple seeds each square. So it's actually really efficient. You can have a lot in a small space and then grow those out 30, 40 days. When they get really large, you transplant over into your systems. So really easy way to do that. That's hydroponic seedling starting. And Let Pot, this is the system that we're demoing right here. This is actually the Max. Max is pretty easy to use, and what I like about it is it's got 2 different functions. So you can do your greens and herbs. These are going to be in this space, lights above, light telescopes, it goes up and down. It also can adjust like so. After you planted your seeds like these right here, you're going to want to put one of these little dome covers over it. This holds in the humidity. Make sure that the seeds are going to get enough moisture and humidity right at the time when you want them to start sprouting and growing. So one thing to keep in mind about these kinds of systems, you may have seen these commonly. The size of the plants means that you're not really going to be able to plant all of these pockets. It's not practical. The plants are pretty large. So most of the plants are going to take up maybe 3 spaces of this. So what I would normally do is I put a cover over these other 2 holes, and I would just grow, say, right here, or maybe there or there. And that allows you to get a plant that's much bigger, that's going to grow really full. It can grow vertically into space, spread out a little bit. If you have all of these in operation, then it might be a good option to actually do it as like a seed starter and then transplant it to a different system. Pretty common that way. Either way, really easy to use. This Let Pot Max, it's got a electronic system. It's not plugged in, so I can move it around, and it doesn't have nutrients, obviously. But it's got lots of different settings for it. You can do a greens or a fruiting plant light setting as well. And really interesting, one of the few systems that I know that can do this, but you can actually swap out your greens and herbs for a larger fruiting plant. So these are dwarf sized cucumbers or tomato plants. This is going to pop right in there with a larger basket. And it's going to allow you to grow in the same size space 2 cucumbers, tomato plants, pretty much anything you might want to grow. So keep in mind that your average greens and herbs is going to get up to speed in about 30 days. You're going to start harvesting in hydroponics around like between 30 and 40 days, depending on the type of green and herb it is. Your fruiting plants, so a dwarf tomato, dwarf cucumber, that's usually going to get up to speed around 90 days. However, it's going to last a bit. So you really can grow tomatoes, cucumber plants indoors in systems like the Let Pot or many of the others, which we have on indoorgardenmarket.com. You can grow those all year, basically. Started in January, you're going to be harvesting somewhere around April. Then you could continue to harvest through most of the year. It's much larger time cycle. A longer time cycle. You get a lot more out of it. And if you are just joining us, please join our free indoor food growing training program. This is part of Indoor Garden Market, where we grow food all year, and this is free to join. You get email reminders as we go live. You get tips and tricks when we have new systems that come out, new nutrients, solutions, the latest and greatest for indoor food growing. And it allows you to grow up to 75 pounds of herbs, greens, and fruiting plants at a time. So this is a really new capability. Generally speaking, if you haven't heard about it before, it's probably because it's really, really new. Only a few years ago that these lights got cheap enough, and there became a good number of high efficiency indoor food growing systems. So you can also access live virtual growing and in-person events at indoorgardenmarket.com. We have community growers in several cities around the country: Cincinnati, the greater Washington, D.C. area, Baltimore, and Vancouver, Washington. You can go to a live event, taste the greens, see these systems in action, buy a seedling package so that you can grow the easy way. We provide those seedlings for you. All you do is pop them into, one of these systems. Pick a system you like, buy one of our seedling packages, pop them in there, and a week later you're going to be harvesting. So we've taken the complexity out of this growing, and we made it just easy for you to do. So hope you can join us on the free indoor food growing training program. I want to do a quick community update here. This is one of our growers based in Denver, Colorado. He's been growing with one of our grow mesh systems. Really great, very efficient system. It does require auxiliary lights that you're going to add on to both sides of it. This is going to produce maybe half a pound a week of greens and herbs at full production, depending on what kinds of plants are in there. Super productive. These are the freshest greens you can possibly get. They grow year round using these LED grow lights. You get 4 full crops, 4 full harvests throughout the year. So there's never a time when you're not harvesting basically and eating from these systems. And it also means that you've got the cleanest and easiest and also the most diversity of greens and herbs and fruiting plants. The grocery stores do not do a good job of actually providing us with tons of diversity. They provide just a little bit of different kinds of greens and herbs. We can grow hundreds or thousands of different kinds of greens and herbs when we shift indoors and we begin to take this food system into our own hands. We do not need a lot of space. This system right here takes up about 4 square feet of space. So it is really easy to do, and it's very, very productive. Going to put our free indoor growing training program up there just in case you need it. And really excited to have you join us. If you didn't get our Green Thumb Guide AI Assistant, that QR code is up on the left side. That helps you get started. It's basically trained to do indoor food growing. You can use it with a free OpenAI ChatGPT account. It doesn't cost you any money. If you do start growing food indoors, through our help, we'd love if you could do a hashtag #MyIndoorFoodGarden. Share it with us so that we can feature you on one of our live stream events. These live stream events go every Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, and you can access everything on our website, indoorgardenmarket.com. So I was really, really happy to have you join us here for this live stream. And let's check out what we got coming up next week. So by now you should have planted out your seeds or seedlings, gotten those into some kind of a system. If you haven't, no worries. Jump back a couple of our live episodes and you can actually get access to the systems we love, the kinds of plants that we like to grow, things like that. Coming up on Saturday, July 5th, happy 4th of July, early for you. Our next Planter Grow Night is going to be on top growth hacks. So that will be LED light tips, air circulation, nutrient timing, and that's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Go to indoorgardenmarket.com and sign up in our indoor food growing training program. Totally free. You get email reminders for everything that's happening, updates on the latest technology out there to grow indoors, grow food indoors year round, and also you get to connect with your local community grower wherever they might be. If we do have a community grower out in your area, then they are doing live events that are going to be able to help you out to get to grow more food, up to 75 pounds of food in less space than a coffee table with LED grow lights. So please grow with us at indoorgardenmarket.com. If you do grow something, share a picture, hashtag my indoor food garden, and we'd love to see what you're growing and can't wait to grow along with you. So long for now. This is Cliff, Loudoun County, Virginia, community grower. I'm in the greater Washington, D.C. area. Look forward to seeing you on our next event, maybe live, maybe local, maybe online, however it is. We just want to keep you growing.